caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem. They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Joining me now from Melbourne's Joe Siracusa. He's a professor of global futures and political analyst. Welcome to you, Joe. Let's start with the economy, because that's what the voters care about always first and foremost. I was looking at the stats from January of last year to January of this year. Inflation, yes, it's come down 3% to 2.4%. But overall, his claims about the cost of living, do you think they were true or not?
No, they weren't. Good morning, Neil. Look, he said that he's meeting the core inflation problems here. He's just talking about 6 or 7 items. But Americans they're doing it tough at the grocery store. They're doing it tough at the gas station and things like that. They're not doing better. They're doing worse. Now, look, Trump's my 14th president, and this is my 50th State of the Union address. And I'd give him a failing grade here because it's about the domestic thing. But more than that, it's about recovering between now and the November election. Right now, the Democrats are tipped to win the election in November, the midterms, and that's going to be bad news for all the Trump people because we're going to have committees run by Democrats who are going to be impeaching everybody they can get their hands on, forcing people who are smiling today to say things under subpoena that they don't want to say, as a matter of fact. And Trump, I got to tell you that while the country is in serious trouble, he sort of treated it like entertainment. He went on for 2 hours like a game show host, come on down and all the rest of it. He had some really unusual guests. He gave away medals to the damnedest people, to the helicopter pilot who kidnapped the head of state in Venezuela, and then to the goalie in the hockey match with Canada. I mean, he's with America's top honors, and they're going to his sort of cue him up on the day. Now, his audience today should have been 3 groups of people. Non-whites, didn't talk about them. Independents, who have lost faith in him, and Hispanics, which have lost faith in him. 7 in 10 Americans think he's going in the wrong direction, Neil, and 6 in 10 don't like him. He doesn't win the popularity vote anymore. And people think he's not keying in on the right things. And so when he's bragging about this, that, and the other thing, when he talks about gasoline being under $2 a gallon in Iowa, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. So he's filled with anecdotes. He's got lots of fun guests, and some of it's incredibly poignant. I mean, one of the ladies there, one of the mothers there, found her daughter dead in her home, killed by an undocumented immigrant. I mean, what could be more macabre than having people like that in the audience, and that is highlighting them like that? I mean, it's really extraordinary.
Joe, when you talked about immigration there, because I just wanted to pick up on that. You mentioned, you brought up some real heart-rending stories when it came to people who died at the hands of illegal immigrants. He didn't mention, as far as I noticed, the ICE raids and the death of the innocent US citizens. I mean, did that surprise you that that didn't come up?
No, it wouldn't come up. He doesn't mention that kind of thing. And look, the stories were quite poignant. I mean, they're, almost brought you to the verge of tears. He doesn't, he sort of conflates border patrol, borders with immigration. He's done very well on the borders, and Americans understand that. But he's done a terrible job in this picking up people off the street and throwing them out of the country. He's killed people, as a matter of fact. And, Americans, they're pretty easygoing folks, and they can't stand the sight of this. And there are a couple other things he should have mentioned. Americans, all these Americans watching this show, watching that speech, they wanted to know what the hell he was going to do with the Epstein files. I mean, there's still a million pieces to come, and he's covering those up. They want to know more about what's going to happen in Iran, and we all know which way that's going. That's going to be kinetic in a couple of days. And so, he's sort of saving the bad news. He's not talking about the bad news very much, but he's trying to tell us that we're having a good time, that life has never been better What could be more surrealistic than that? I mean, Americans, Neil, they're not as dumb as they look. I mean, they know the truth when they see it, particularly when they go to the grocery store and can't fill up their cart.
Joe, thank you very much. Professor Joe Siracusa, my guest.